All right, good day, hi, and welcome. Okay, we're looking at my beautiful Mapex Armory limited edition Anaconda Burst Mapex kit. And I want to show you how I'm miking it. I just did a song. Uh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's not going to be great, but it came out okay. So I got, obviously, no room treatment here. So cover this up. BR1200, that's the recording module, circa 2006. So what I got going on is I only have two mics. I have an SM57 down here, as we can see, and an SM58. Now, what I was doing was an overhead up here with the SM58 and in between here with the SM57. And I found a kind of slightly better, I got to get this a little closer to the beaters there. But basically I got to turn this kind of like upside down, I guess is what I got to do. And I almost have it the way I want it. So what I do is just go like this, flip it upside down so I can get a better angle on the mic because I can't lower the mic stand anymore. And then, yeah, like that. That there gets your snare and your, I wish I can get a little bit closer, but and because your bass drum is always never loud enough, right? Put all these stands and cymbals and everything away. I don't know who the guy was, but I think he's in this room. So that's a little bit better. As long as you don't whack it with the pedals, are okay. So let's have a look at it over here. But that seemed to blend out okay with no room treatment on 2006 technology. That gets the double bass pretty good. And this here can get these two toms pretty good. That tom seems to cut through okay. And that seems to work well. I could probably even lower it down to get more drum than cymbal because the cymbals are just about, probably about 6 inches there. So that's a 2-mic setup. You can actually do a lot with a 2-mic setup. The bass drum is always the hardest to cut through, but I was getting some nice booms in there, and I was not clipping my mics either, so that's always good. So as long as I don't hit the stand, I'm okay. But yeah, so that seems to work. Okay, we'll take a look at this angle so you can see where roughly it is. So the snare cuts through no matter pretty much where it is, right? Unless you really want a snare dominant setup. Yes, I still have my tags on my 10-month-old snare and drum kit. But that works really good. So it gets the beater head. The SM57 is a good mic for high compression. So basically for drums. The SM58 not as good, but it captures more of the room, right? So that catches the low end from here, the low end from there. This cuts through and kind of comes out, right above there. So if you're not playing the snare, this will cut through, and the hi-hats cut through. Cymbals always cut through the best. It makes this crappy cymbal. This is like a SBR cymbal, which is the bottom rung for basically Sabian cymbals, right? But it actually makes it sound not too bad. This one is 18. This is 18, I think. Yeah, 18. So this doesn't sound bad. It takes the heart, like, I might lower it more just to soften up the sound of the cymbal a bit more. The hi-hats, these are 14s. And, are they 14s? Yeah, 14-inch. These are... I'm starting to think a little bit differently, even about metal drums. Like, do they really need to be as big as they are? You know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking... like the studio style drums are probably more just with the shallower toms. You don't get it's because the low end you can always add in, right? So I like to get things closer. I do like this arrangement. I can play it fairly well for as well as I can play. But again, 10 months in. But it works in the song. It does sound like you're live in the studio for sure. So you're not going to get like Pantera sounding drums. You know what I mean? You're not going to get Metallica or what do you call it? Periphery or who'd be a really good drummer to Gajora, how you say it? Yeah, you're not going to get those drum sounds. You're not going to get those really ridiculously drum sounds. Anchor, yeah, I love Eleni Nota's sound, and she's using the same kit as me. Just she has the purple one. I have the limited edition. Same armor kit. I don't know what she uses for a snare or whatever. I don't know what she's using for a pedal. But she only has like 4 or 5 snares. Nizo from Frozen Crown, I don't know what he uses. I think he uses, well, I think they all use assorted kits. They probably have like 10 kits each, but you do see Eleni a lot with her purple, they call it the Night Sky Burst. And if you listen to Anchor live, that's the drum sound I want to get. And it's just, yeah, but I'm not there yet. So these are like, the stock heads. So one of the first things I'm going to do, I mean, I've already started the upgrades to the drum kit for recording purposes anyway. But skins, I think I'm going to go with the Evans Hydraulics just to get as much bleed off as I can. And so I can tune them as low and as punchy as I can. So yeah, that, like, I've already upgraded the double pedal. And the next thing is going to be a clutch on here. So I can go back and forth from my double pedal and stuff like that. I got to move this back a little bit, but it's not in a bad spot, to tell you the truth. I can play it without too much. It's quicker to set up, because if I want the pedals lined up here, the problem is I have to put this shaft through here or here. I can't remember which way it is. It'll get a pedal right beside pretty much, but then you can't move the pedal back and forth at all. And it could interfere with the snare a bit. So I had it set up like that before and it worked out, but, and it gets that a lot closer, which is easier to play. But from a recording point of view, having this back a bit from the snare is not a bad idea either. It's like basically they don't know, nothing touches, nothing overlaps on this kit. The closest is this here, but I try to make sure that doesn't touch, because I don't want it to chip this beautiful drum shell. So that's the 2 mic setup I've got. It seems to work. I've played around, put it here, put it there. You're going to be doing a trade-off. Obviously, I'm doing a trade-off for the double bass, right? I really want that double pedal sound, right? And I do kind of favor this tom in the songs a lot more than I do that tom and then the floor tom. And obviously, the snare cuts through well enough, right underneath like that. Like ideally, okay, dream mic setup. The only thing is I don't know what to, like, and maybe you guys can help me with this too. Yeah, I'll make a separate video on the dream mic setup for a drum kit.